guys, Flori here. I'm back to start another weekend reading vlog for you guys. This is about my 6th week in quarantine, so getting a little bit stir crazy, but I still am so grateful for all the books I have at my disposal because it means I have a lot to read. I do actually have a couple of things planned this weekend because Y'all West is happening, which is normally a book festival that happens like way out east or way out west. But they're doing like a lot of virtual programming, so I actually hope to attend quite a few events over the weekend. And it's also the end of the month, which means I have to prep a lot of videos for like my YouTube channel and my Instagram and stuff. So I'm trying to prep that stuff as much as I can this weekend. Oh my god, it's so different from last year. Last year, like I really had no content for anyone in May because of my show, and this year's gonna be so different. But I do want to go over the stuff that I hope to tackle. I am in the middle of listening to an audiobook, and I'll probably talk about that like a little bit later in the reading vlog if I wind up listening to it at all this weekend. I hope the weather's nice so I can go for a quick bike ride, but we will see if that actually happens. But I wound up choosing 2 books that I'm going to focus on this weekend. The first book that I'm going to start right now is The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Webb. This is a historical fiction book set in the 1940s, and I feel like it has to do with like a girl that's like I know it follows a girl, and I know it has to do with the 1940s, and that's really all that I know. And I say the hair stood on the back of my neck. Those letters meant something, and with the Savior machine, it worked. I worked it out myself. So I don't know much about this book, but I know that I have wanted to dive into some more historical fiction reads, and this is one that really has captured my attention. This was also on my spring TBR, so I'm happy that I actually wound up picking it up. And for like a lighter fare, I also wound up picking up The Fowl Twins by Ian Colfer. This is the sequel series to Artemis Fowl. And I actually never wound up finishing the last book in that series, but the new movie is coming out in June on Disney Plus, and I did want to actually wind up watching it, so I'm gonna actually read this and kind of like get myself reacquainted with the world. So these are the 2 books that I would love to finish this weekend. We will see if that happens, and then maybe at the tail end of Sunday night, I'm probably gonna pick back up Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. Like I literally am so close to being done with this book. I have about maybe like 100 pages left. So I'm definitely gonna finish this book before the end of the month. But I'm gonna go read for a little bit, and probably watch some Legacies, and I'll come in if I have an update, you guys. But I don't know if I will. But I'm gonna try. I'll probably pop in when I'm like 50 pages in and let you guys know my thoughts, because I really don't know anything about this book. But just thought the cover seemed interesting, and I know that I've been wanting some historical fiction. So I'm gonna go start the reading for the night, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye. Right here, I'm back. It's like about 2 o'clock. I actually did a bunch of like reading, and I was outside for a little while because it's really, really a gorgeous day. I took a really, really long bike ride and went up listening to like about 7 chapters in Cole. Oh, I forgot the name of it. It's by Lisa Kleypas. I think it's Cold Rake. I think, and it's the first book in that series. I'm really, really liking it. It basically follows these 2 characters. I'll get you the title in the next clip. Basically follow these 2 characters set in like the 1700s, I think. And her husband wound up passing away, so his cousin has to come and kind of take care of the house. And they just have a lot of like windy banter. And now he's like kind of taking care of the house. He's kind of trying to take care of her in a sense. So I am really, really liking that. It's just such a fun read. And during this quarantine time, I have a lot of like downtime with my job. Well, not downtime, but like listening time with my job. And I want to focus on stuff that's not as complicated. So that's like a really, really fun read for me. And I've read like 7 chapters in that. And I just started The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Webb. This due date was supposed to come out in May, but it actually got pushed back to November. But I already started it, and I have been dying to read some more historical fiction books. And this one was high on my spring TBR. But it basically follows 3 different point of views. You follow a fighter jet pilot, you follow a girl named Louisa, whose parents have just died, and she winds up unexpectedly have to take care of a German woman as her job. And then there's another character that we still haven't met yet, but there is like a plot, I think, and there might be a conspiracy, and there might be like a cipher machine involved. And it takes place in 1940s, World War II, I believe. I'm really excited to dive into this read. Like, I really am liking it. I started it very, very briefly, like last night, and I just wasn't like as captivated, but I am actually really liking it now. Also, Y'all West is happening, or Y'all Stay Home is happening. So I am gonna listen to a couple of those panels. I think I actually might take my computer outside and kind of listen in the background because Alexandra Bracken is going to be on a panel, and I haven't seen her in person for like close to 2 years. So I'm hopeful she maybe says what she's working on. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, and I will talk to you guys when I make a little bit more progress on the Enigma game. Bye, guys. I also do have to film some videos this weekend, but I think I might do it tomorrow. I forgot that Y'all West is they're like they're a couple hours ahead of us, or like I'm ahead of this, so like this stuff isn't gonna start until like the middle of the day, so I actually do have time to do that stuff. So that's exciting. I might actually wind up doing it a little bit later, or prepping later or tomorrow, but I do definitely have to prep this weekend. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll update you guys when I make a little bit more progress on the Enigma game. Bye, guys. Here, I'm back. I actually did wind up doing another panel for You All Stay Home with Alexandra Bracken and a bunch of other authors, and I really enjoy those panels. I think that it's a nice way to like connect with authors since we won't be seeing them in person anytime soon. But I really like those authors. That was kind of fun. I am going to dive in and kind of try to make a little bit more progress on the Enigma game. I'm gonna like dive an hour in and watch some of my longer YouTube videos that I was putting off, and then I think I'm actually gonna film some videos tonight. Hoping tomorrow's gonna be gorgeous, so I want to like save some time for me to sit outside like I did today. But I do have a bunch of stuff I need to film, so I'd rather do it today and not tomorrow. Actually, I'll probably check the weather and double check that it's gonna be a gorgeous day, because if it's gonna be rainy tomorrow, then I might just film tomorrow. But I'm gonna make the decision after I do my reading. But I am really liking the Enigma game. I'm like 42 pages in. We finally have got all 3 perspectives, and I'm really curious to see how they connect to each other. I haven't read a lot of World War II historical fictions, or like any historical fiction books. I'm hopeful that this might be a new trend that I'm gonna start reading a couple bit more. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm liking the diverse characters. I'm liking how we have an African American character in the 1940s. I like how we have a German woman who's kind of at the heart of it. And I love books about like code breaking and like resistance fighting and spying, and I think that might have an element in this book. But I know this book did get pushed back a lot. But I've already started it, and it was on my spring TBR. But I'll definitely give you guys like an update when I get up to page 100. It's definitely a reading very, very fast paced, which wasn't the case last night. But I'm gonna go watch my 2 videos, figure out what the weather's gonna be like, and I'll come in and let you guys know what I'm going to do. Bye, guys. It's Lori here. I'm back. I actually did wind up going for another bike ride because it's supposed to be really, really wet and cold tomorrow, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to go outside and go for a bike ride tomorrow. But I did read a little more in Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. I'm now on chapter 9. I really am liking it. It's just such a fun read. I really like to read romance books like in the summer. That's really like when I dive into those series. But I've also been needing some romance books to read during my work week because they're much quicker and I can easily focus on them. But this is a historical fiction romance that I've never read before, in this genre, but I've never read before, but I'm actually really enjoying it. And I did read a little bit more of The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen. I'm now on page 66, so I have officially met all the characters. I'm really curious to see how their lives intertwine, and I'm really, really liking it. I think right now I'm least invested in the viewpoint that is the fighter pilot, because that battles and stuff don't always fascinate me and are hard to keep my attention. The other 2 point of views I'm really intrigued by. I'm hopeful that we'll move out of the battle elements and more into the code breaking and the spying for him, but really liking it so far. So I'm going to go do a couple of my filming that I had planned, which I was going to do tomorrow, but I think I'm just going to do today and get most of it over with. So I will talk to you guys in a little bit when I'm done with my filming. Bye, guys. It's Lori here. I'm back. It is April 26th, which is a Sunday. I just woke up. I just took all my Instagram photos. It is the end of the month, so I have to like do a bunch of prep stuff for May for my Instagram channel and for my YouTube channel. But I just want to come in and say that I am on chapter 11 in Leah Kleypas's Cold Hearted Rake. I'm really liking this book. It's such fun background noise by far. Just a funny read. And I'm also reading The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen. And I did get up to page like 115 in it. Still really enjoying it. Now I think I will like it a little bit better because all the characters are kind of going to be in the same spot. And I've said this before, I struggle with like fight sequences, but specifically like fight sequences in like airplanes and battles in general, because I sometimes get lost in the details. But I really do like all the characters, and I'm really curious to see where the story goes. This book did get pushed up by a lot. I think it's coming out in November, but I'm still really excited to read it, and I will definitely be checking out her other historical fiction books for sure. But I'm gonna go finish filming and doing all that other stuff. I normally go to a yoga class every single Sunday, but I have to do something else this Sunday, so I'm not gonna go for that yoga class, at least at that time. And then I'm probably gonna try to play Animal Crossing today, at least for a little bit. Um, and then I am probably going to finish, we'll keep watching Legacies and keep reading. So that's my plans for the day. I will come in with you guys and check in with you guys when I'm ready to like start either Animal Crossing or reading. I don't know if it's gonna rain today. They said it was gonna rain like all day, but if it doesn't rain all day, I might also go for a bike ride. So very, very fluid plans. But I will talk to you when I'm done filming my videos. Bye guys. Hey, Lori here. I'm back. I actually wound up filming 2 videos and doing a bunch of my R&D stuff, so I'm done. I'm actually done a lot earlier than I was yesterday, so I've got, it's like about 2 o'clock. I do want to watch one of the Y'all Stay Home panels, which has Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff on it, which I've been dying to see because I haven't seen them together live and in person in like 2 years since Amy had her baby. So I really am excited to hear them talk on a panel. So I think I'm going to watch that, and I'm going to keep reading the Enigma game. And then when I'm done with that panel, I'll come in and let you guys know about where I am. Right now I'm on page 116. I haven't done any reading physically, but I did read about 3 chapters in Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas, which was like for the first half of my editing day. So I did that, which is actually super exciting. So I'm actually really liking that book. But after this, I think I'm going to watch 2 episodes of Pitch and then 2 episodes of Agent Carter and see where I am, because that's going to be a large part of my listening day tomorrow. But I'm going to go read a little bit before my panel starts, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Right here, just checking back in. I actually did wind up watching a few panels from You All Stay Home, like a couple that a lot of my favorite authors were on. I also got a bunch of book recommendations, which is awesome. I did play like 2 hours of Animal Crossing because I literally didn't play all this week. I went on like an island adventure. I still need to get a couple of things to help build the shop. So I'm hoping that tomorrow I can try to track down some iron nuggets, which is an adventure. But I did make a little bit more progress on the Enigma game. The characters are in one location, which I'm really liking, and they're definitely diving into the spycraft elements of it. A soldier has come to them and now has eventually left, but he left a surprise behind. And the characters are all kind of meeting each other for the first time, which I'm really liking. About 136 pages in. I'm also watching some daily vlogs that I normally watch on a daily basis. And then I think I'm going to dive into Reagan's because it's like 40 minutes. And then I think I'm going to actually watch Pitch and Agent Carter. That's my plans for today. But I will talk to you when I'm finished with my Reagan update. This vlog has not been that long, and I think I'm probably going to keep it going for a couple of days. But I didn't vlog a lot this week, not because like I was doing a lot of things that wasn't really entertaining for you guys, and I really haven't read a lot this weekend, which is surprising, but I did listen to a lot, so kind of split the difference. But I'm going to go back to reading, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye! Just checking back in. Just wound up taking a shower. I did do a virtual meditation class, which always makes me honestly feel like a little bit tired. I am in the middle of Reagan's reading vlog, which is like 40 minutes. And I did get up to page 186 in the Enigma game. I am really enjoying this book. It's just a lot of information, and as someone that's not very like well read in World War II history, I feel like I'm missing some key aspects, but I do like it. I think that it's really a good book because you have 3 main point of views. You have Jamie, you have Louisa, and you have Ellen. And they all have a part that makes this like conspiracy or this like enigma game as like the book like work. And then they're also working with a former pilot that left them the enigma activity, and then or the enigma like technique that is letting them decode German German code through Morse code. And then you have a German woman that Louisa is like watching, and Louisa is an African American girl. It's very interesting because you need all of these 6 people for this story to make sense, and I'm liking it. I'm liking the dynamics. I'm liking the racism that's being discussed on various sides, both for Louisa and for the German woman. I think it's really, really interesting, and the characters have such different point of views and such different perspectives. I'm definitely more invested in the 2 girls right now Jamie's has a lot of fighting, physical fighting in planes, and I always get a little bit lost in the details of that. But I am really liking it. I'm liking the characters a lot, and I know that we're going to see characters from Codename Verity and the Pearl Thief. I don't know who those characters are, but I'm sure when I'm done with this book, I'm gonna go back and read those. But yeah, I'm really, really liking it. I definitely did not read a lot this weekend. I just had other things that I wanted to do, but I am gonna try to read a bunch more. I would like to probably go to bed, maybe get up to page 250 tonight. That's probably be my goal, but we will see. But I'm gonna go keep reading, and I'll update you guys when I can. Bye, guys. Here it's about 9 o'clock, and I'm gonna stop reading for the evening, but I did get up to page 210. Definitely did not get enough reading done this weekend by far, but it was a bit of an interesting weekend. I did have you all stay home. It was a gorgeous day on on Saturday, so I went out and went for a lot of bike rides. And I also had to do a lot of filming this weekend. I think I filmed 5 to 6 videos, so it was a more a not a really focused reading. I didn't even watch a lot of TV shows, to be honest. But I do hope to finish this earlier in the week, which you guys will see. But yeah, I also did read a couple of chapters of Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Calliope. I'm definitely going to make that my audiobook for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, so I do have to go back to work. Some of my kids are taking a test, and some of my kids are doing medieval theater, so we will see how that all plays out. But yeah, I will talk to you guys probably in the morning if I can remember to update. Just to let you guys know what I watched tonight. I'm kind of debating between a couple of different things, but I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It's pretty early in the morning on Monday, April 27th. I just wanted to do a quick update. I didn't wind up reading anything else last night. I'm still on page 210 of the Enigma game, and I'm actually just started listening to Cold Hearted Rake, and I'm on chapter 17, and I'm about 5 hours into this audiobook, and I have about 5 hours to go. Still really enjoying it. Last night I wound up watching the final panel for You All Stay Home, which is when Cassandra Clare, Amy Kaufman, and a couple of authors read their stuff that they wrote when they were younger, and oh my goodness, it was hysterical. Cassandra Clare, when she was 11, wrote a 1,000-page novel, which does not surprise me for Cassandra Clare because she writes such long books, but it was so fun. The one thing that came out of Y'all Stay Home was I have added a bunch of books to my TBR, and I think I'm definitely going to do an order through an indie bookshop at some point during this quarantine because there are so many books I want to get. But I'm going to go back to working, and I'll probably update you guys when I'm done with work for the evening. I definitely want to try to go for a walk today, or a bike ride at least, because I hope it's going to be nice. I don't really know. But I definitely do have to play Animal Crossing. My villagers got a little bit mad at me because I was absent for a week. My villagers. So I'm going to try to play today and try to make some more progress on the Enigma game. But for right now, I'm going to go listen to my audiobook and do some grading. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I'm back. It's 2:30, so school is officially done for the day. I'm going to chance a bike ride. It still is a little bit wet out, but I don't think it's raining anymore. I didn't get any physical reading done, but I only have 2 hours left in my audiobook. This book is so fun. This is not my chosen genre, romance Regency reads, but I do really like that time period, and I like the dynamics between the characters. I like that it's a series, so you're gonna get every character is eventually going to get a book. And honestly, now that I'm working at home, I need something a book or a story that I don't have to put a lot of focus into because I have to do so much grading and talking to students, but I need something on in the background. So these are really, really fun reads. I will definitely read other things as well, but right now this is just what's capturing me. I do have a couple of historical fiction books that I would love to tackle soon as well, but right now this one's really, really fun, and it's just a fun read. Definitely sexy, I'll say that. This is definitely a sexy read. A lot of steamy scenes, which is not normally my chosen genre, but I am really liking it. I'm really liking the characters. I'm liking the setting. So I think I'm going to chance a bike ride, and then I'm going to come back. I am going to go to a yoga class tonight, a virtual one, because I didn't get to go yesterday because I did something else instead of doing a yoga class, but I am going to do one tonight, which I'm really excited about. When I come home, I'll check in and let you guys know how many hours I have left. Right now, I have about 2 hours and 15 minutes left. So I'll report back and let you know how many minutes I went up reading and let you know if I was able to go for a bike ride. If not, I'll do one of my workouts. But I would like to go for a bike ride because May and April in New York are always a little bit finicky because it's always rains a lot, and then in the summer it doesn't rain at all. So it's kind of like this is like our wet season, I guess you could say. But I'm gonna go for a bike ride and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hey, it's Lori here. I did get up to page like 239 in The Enigma Name by Elizabeth Wen. I am really starting to enjoy this book. We've got into like the third part of this, which is, you know, a different part. I'm just about to start part 3, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. I sometimes get a little bit lost in the details, but I did say this before. World War II is not my genre that I know a lot about. I don't know a lot about history, to be honest with you, just the stuff I learned in school. But I do like the elements of of spycraft that are included. I think that's really, really interesting. I do like all 3 point of views. I think I'm more invested in the 2 girls, as I said previously. But I really am enjoying it. I also I have like 45 minutes left in Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. I'm definitely going to finish that tomorrow morning. We're right at the crux of the story, right at the end. A fortuitous event has happened, I'll say that, for the land that Wes and his brother have like found. And then there's some drama with the older sister that the other girl that the main girl in the book is dealing with. But I really am liking it, thoroughly enjoying it. A very, very sexy read, but one that I really am liking. So I'm gonna go keep reading, and when I get to page like probably like 250, I'll probably update you guys and let you guys know my thoughts. But still really enjoying it, and I am gonna go do that. So talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Here I'm back. Sorry, I was just eating some peanut butter. But I did actually wind up going to my yoga class, and I did wind up making a little bit more reading progress on The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen. I'm now on page 286, and an unexpected twist was revealed, which involves Jamie, which I'm really excited about. So I'm gonna get back to reading. This is definitely a slower paced book, but one that like is so interesting, and I'm loving how I love the story. I think the story's so interesting. It's definitely not like a fast paced story like that. Like there is a lot of action and there's like a lot of war, but the story is a little bit like it's not a fast paced story like that. But I'm really liking it. I'm liking the characters, I'm liking the world, I'm liking the time period. So I'm just going to keep on reading, and I'll update you guys when I read a little bit more. I didn't read a lot this weekend. Like, I think I didn't read anything this weekend. Well, I mean, I read a little bit, but I want to, like, really make some more progress. So I'm actually not even going to put on some booktube videos that I'm, like, remotely interested in. I'm just going to put on something as background noise and see how far I can get, and I'll let you guys know at about 10 o'clock or 9:30 like what I wound up reading. Right now it's almost 7:45, so I have about like 2 hours to read. I'll give you guys my updates when I make about maybe like 100 pages in. Bye guys. Here it's about 9:30 and I just make a little bit more reading progress. I did get up to page like 350 in The Enigma Game. I was being curious, so I did look up the like crossover just so I would know if I could share it with you guys. The main character in The Pearl Thief is a character in this book. I would say she's like a side character, but she is a character in this book. Her name is different, so when you read that book, just know that it is the same person. And she has an unexpected connection to another character. And I think this book actually happens directly after it, like timeline-wise. But I'm really curious how this book ends. I think their roles are really important. And I love that it's like a very, very tightly wound mystery that's really about spy codes and battles and bombings. I think it's a very tightly wound mystery. I do like the tie back to that book series. I haven't read it, but I'm definitely going to add it to my TBR because I like her as a character in this. But I'm really liking all 3 perspectives, and I'm just really, really liking it. I can't wait to keep reading, and I'm probably not going to finish it tonight. I'm going to try to read like 50 more pages and then head to bed for the evening. But so far, really enjoying it. So I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here. I'm back. It's about 8:30 in the morning. I just wound up doing all my grading for the morning, which means I might have a bunch of grading to do later. But I do have about 30 minutes left of my audiobook, which is Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. Really enjoying that. And I did get up to page yesterday, like 356 in the Enigma Game. I actually got like a little bit more, but I was really tired when I was reading it, so I want to go back and reread that chapter because I think it's like an important chapter. So I'm going to try to read about 50 pages before I have to teach virtually anyway. And I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. Hi, it's Lori here. Just checking back in. It's about 10:30. I do have a small break, so I just wanted to come in and say that I did wind up finishing Cold Hearted Rake by Lisa Kleypas. I actually wound up really enjoying that book. Definitely, I would give it like 3.5, 4 stars. I found it to be such a fun read. I've said this a few times. I've since been working at home. I've been trying to find books that I can listen to while I'm doing schoolwork, and that book is perfect. I thought it was so great. I love the Regency era. I loved the characters. I loved how it could really be expanded and there would be other characters that we're focusing on. Found it so fun. Definitely gave it a 4 stars. So the next audiobook I decided to pick up is The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. I did get this physical arc at ALA, but it was on my overdrive to rent and it was there, so I wound up picking this one up. And this is another historical fiction read. It's a middle grade read, and it takes place in 1986, the Chernobyl disaster in the Ukraine, and it follows 2 girls who were mortal enemies, but their fathers wind up working at a power plant together, and they kind of have to I think they have to try to both to save their fathers, but also to stop the government from basically making this look like it's not as serious, I think. I literally just started it, but I'm really liking it. I'm definitely more captivated by this book right now than the Enigma Game, but I'm going to go into that a little bit when I'm done with the Enigma Game and give you guys my final thoughts, but I am listening to this. So I'm going to get back to reading and listening, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Well, probably at the end of my school day. Bye, guys. Hi, guys. Lori here. I'm back. I just want to do a quick update. I did wind up finishing The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen. I definitely did like this book. I don't think it was my favorite, and that's more like a me problem. Like, I really struggle sometimes with like battle-led books, and there was definitely a lot of battle elements in this book. I like historical fiction books that focus on spycraft or like smaller stories in a war. But I did love the characters. I love the dynamics. I love the overall storytelling. The battle scenes just kind of lost my attention a little bit. But I'm definitely going to check out Elizabeth Wen's other books because I want to see the characters like Jamie again and Julie again because they're in the other books in the series. But I really wound up liking it. I'm glad that I wound up picking it up. I also did make a little bit of listening progress on The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. This is what the book I'm listening to. Right now I'm on page I think I'm on page I'm on page 74 in this, and basically it follows these 2 girls, Valentina and Ascana, and there's another point of view that's in a different location, but they basically are in Chernobyl when the power plant explodes, and both their dads work at the power plant, so it's kind of the aftermath of that, and it's basically these 2 girls are kind of going to go on an adventure, and they're also dealing with a lot of misinformation that the government is kind of expounding, but I'm literally just started, so I know that they're about to leave Chernobyl, but that's the only news that I have about that. But I'm really liking the audiobook, and this is definitely more of a historical fiction book that is more to my tastes. But yeah, super interesting. Well, I'm actually going to choose my next read between 3 different historical fiction books. I decided to turn this reading vlog into like a pure historical fiction reading vlog, so I'm going to choose one of my next 3 reads. The first book I'm going to choose from is Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nelson. This book did come out in October. And this is the same author that wrote Resistance and A Night Divided, and I haven't actually ever read anything by her, but I want to start, so I'm really excited to dive into this book. I think she wrote a fantasy series as well, but I can't remember. But this is the first book I'm gonna choose from. I'm also gonna choose The Lost Girls of Paris by Pan Genoff. This is one that came out relatively recently. And Library of Legends by Jamie Ching. This was my book that I got from Book of the Month like relatively recently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first chapter of every one of these books and just see which one captures my attention, and then I'm going to let you guys know what I'm going to read. If I had to choose right now, I would say this book would probably win, but I'm going to give it a fair shot. So I'll come in when I'm done reading the first chapter and all of them. Bye guys. Lori here. I'm back. It's about 7:15. I did actually do a quick workout because I felt like I was very, very inactive today. So I wanted to do something like movement-wise. But I did decide to choose my next book, and I am going to read Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nelson. This is the book that I was kind of eyeing as I was reading The Enigma Game. I said this like when I was talking about The Enigma Game. I love books, war books that are about like spycraft and people that are not involved in the war necessarily, but like are engaged in it. And this book sounds super interesting. This book takes place in Lithuania. I have never read anything about Lithuania, but it occurs, I think it takes place in, it tells me a year, I think it did at some point, in 1893. I know that the Russians are involved. I know she's delivering a package, and that's like all that I need to know. This is also the author that wrote the False Prince series, which ironically I have book 2 of that series out from the library for an indefinite amount of time. So if I will read it, we will see. But I'm waiting to see if I can get a hold of book 1. But I'm gonna dive into this. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I also really did like The Lost Girls of Paris as well. I might actually try to like read that next. But yeah, so I'm gonna dive into Words on Fire and let you guys know my thoughts. I'll update you when I get about 50 pages in, just to give you guys like a context if I know anything by that point, but I'll let you guys know my thoughts in a little bit. Bye guys. It's Lori here. It's about 9:30, and I did actually wind up getting up to my goal. I did wind up getting up to page 50 in Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nelson. I really am liking this book. It basically follows this girl named Audra. It's set in Lithuania, and I always forget the date. It's like 1893 in Lithuania, which from what I'm understanding, that is when Russia was controlling Lithuania, I think. Like, I don't know much about history, to be honest with you, but I find books about, like, adventure and spycraft super interesting and super compelling. So it basically follows this girl named Audra. Everything is fine. She's living with her family. Everything's going fine. Her dad must be involved in some kind of spycraft or something. We don't really know what that is. And then one day, like, Russian soldiers come to the door. Her mom shoves a package in her face and says, "You have to run." And she takes off with this package, and she's told to go to the specific place and see the specific person. And she's kind of on an adventure to get there. And now she's on her way to the thing, and she encounters a boy. But I'm really, really liking it. I read about 50 pages, and always with Scholastic books, the print is very, very big. But I'm really, really liking it. I'm glad that I chose to pick this one up. I'm definitely going to keep reading tomorrow. Tomorrow, I also am going to keep listening to Blackbird Girls and read Words on Fire. And of course, go to work like I always do. But I just wanted to check in and say that I am going to stop reading for the night, but I will check in with you guys tomorrow and let you early in the morning to let you guys know if I made any reading progress in the interim, because I normally start work at like 8, and sometimes I get to read beforehand. But I'll talk to you guys tomorrow for another update. Bye guys. Hey, Lori here. I just want to update. I did finish work for the day. I did go for a quick bike ride. I did play an hour of Animal Crossing. Now I'm ready to dive into reading. I didn't read any more of Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nelson. I think I read like a page or 2 throughout the day, but it wasn't a lot of reading. However, the book that I did tackle quite a bit of is The Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. This is the audiobook that I'm currently listening to. I'm on page 156. I'm actually listening to the audiobook, but I did get this book at ALA. This is like such a surprising read. Again, it's a time period that I don't know much about. It basically takes place in the aftermath of Chernobyl, when the power station exploded, which I think is irrelevant. I'm pretty sure that is irrelevant. But it basically follows 2 main girls, and their fathers wind up working at this plant together. They are different backgrounds. They really don't like each other. One is a Jewish girl and one is not a Jewish girl. and they're kind of dealing with the aftermath of this. Their paths get wind up pushed together when they're sent on an adventure together to like a different location because something has happened to both their parents. So they're kind of learning to be friends with each other, and it's kind of like a lot about diversity and also about trusting the government, but also what happens when you still trust the government when they're not doing what's in your best interest. It's really a book about friendship, you know, dispelling your own beliefs, like stuff that you were taught for so many years it's not true. I'm really, really liking this book. And then we also get another point of view of another character that we don't see a lot of, but basically she's also on the run from the Russians. It's a really, really compelling read. I'm really curious when these two stories are going to kind of connect, but I'm really liking it. I'm liking both characters. Sometimes I forget who's who because I'm listening to the audiobook, but overall, really, really enjoying it. So I'm going to dive back into Words on Fire, and when I get about 100 pages in, I'll give you guys like an update, but that is my plans, and I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here. I'm just checking back in. It is about 6:45, and I did wind up getting up to page about 100 in Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This book is super interesting. I'm really enjoying it. This book basically follows this young girl named Audra, and she is dealing with a separation from her parents. She also is learning a lot of secrets about her parents. Basically, in Lithuania, during this time period, they can't speak their own language. They can't have their own culture, and the Russians are very, very imposing on them. So Audra's father and her mother were involved in the book trading and like the book smuggling industry, where they're basically smuggling books written in Lithuanian so that these people can still have access to their culture. But if they're caught, obviously that's trouble. So at the start of this book, Audra's parents are imprisoned, and she is sent on a mission to try to get this book, the book that her parents had, where it belonged. And now she gets sucked up in this smuggling conspiracy, which I'm really enjoying. I love books so much. Like, I'm such a good reader, obviously. But I also love books that are at the heart of stuff, and also, like, the separation, like, you know, when we don't have information, like, why that's so important, and, like, why, you know, government's hiding information from us, and why, like, you know, cultures are really important. I really am liking this book. I'm about 100 pages in, and I'm really thoroughly enjoying it. I love Audra as a character as well. She's not like one of those characters that is immediately brave and it goes all in and wants to like save the day. She's very, very shyer, and this is not her chosen path. She would not be someone that wants to necessarily be a resistance fighter, but she kind of falls into that. But also now she's put in a really, really hard predicament that she has to basically choose between her parents and the people that's currently helping her. But I'm really, really liking it. This is definitely more of a war story that I like to read about, along with Blackbird Girls. These definitely are the stories that are less about the actual war, like the fighting, but more about the human experience. That's stuff that I really like reading about. So I'm going to keep reading. I also have a couple of reading vlogs I'm going to tackle tonight. And yeah, so that's kind of my plan. But I'll update you guys when I read about 50 more pages. But so far, thoroughly enjoying this, and I'm loving that it's exploring a part of history that I have been really unfamiliar with, and that's why I like reading, because it kind of takes you and teaches you about a new society that I never knew of. And this is definitely one. This is an historical time period that I don't know much about, but I'm thoroughly liking it in the book that I'm reading. So Lori here. I'm about to start work. It's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I just did a couple of little errands. I did actually read a bunch more of Words on Fire last night. I get up to page like 160. I'm really enjoying this book, like really enjoying it, but a lot. I'm loving how it's tackling a part of history that I've never read about, which I'm really enjoying. I really love the characters. I love how she's kind of becoming a resistance fighter or a resistance worker or like a person like that. I think that the cast of characters she's around is super interesting. I like the hard choices she has to make, but most importantly, I love the discussion of books and the way she talks about reading. This is a character who doesn't know how to read, but I think she's really beginning to appreciate it. But it's also, you know, it's her explaining like why books are so important. But I also love how the other characters are interacting with the books, and I just love the concept of this novel so much. I think it's so cool. I'm definitely going to read a majority of the book tonight at some point, but I am going to go keep listening to Blackbird Girls because that's my audiobook that I have on in the background. I also think I'm gonna make a book depository order. There was a book that I had read this year that I thoroughly enjoyed, and it says it's released, but I don't think it's released in America yet, even though it says it is. So I think I might do a book depository order this week as well, and just try to get a few of the titles that I've been waiting for or just want. But it was The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. The sequel's like already out, but I don't know if it's out in America yet. So I'm gonna maybe do that today as well. Today's also the last day of the month, so I have to choose a couple of things for the Time Warp YA Book Club, and I'm probably gonna wrap up this video today as well. But I'm gonna go start work, and I'll talk to you guys at the end of the day, or if I happen to have time in the middle of the day, maybe I'll update. We will see. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Please lay here. It's about 11:30, and I just had to do a quick check in about Blackbird Girls by Anne Blinkman. I am on chapter, let me see if it will tell me. It normally does. I'm on page 30, chapter 31. Let's see where it says I am. So I'm about like 241 pages into this book. But one I was really curious about the connection to the third point of view that we don't get a lot of in this book, and now it makes total sense, and I'm really loving that tie back. I think that this book is so well crafted. It's really a very heartfelt story about friendship, discovery, a little bit of adventure, and just such a fun world. I think it also dives into racial inequality and racial prejudices really, really well in a bunch of different stories, both in the girls and in the various past ones that we also experience. But I would say it's like, it's a very hard listen, but a very, very engaging one. Like, I'm really liking the characters, and I'm really curious to see how this book ends. And now that the girls are kind of in a different situation, thoroughly enjoying it though, and I really hope to finish this book. If not today, then tomorrow. And tomorrow's May, so it's middle grade March, which is perfect timing. But I just wanted to come in and say that if you're reading this book and you don't understand why one point of view is there, it will be made apparent towards the very end of it. So just hang in there, but thoroughly enjoying this, and I would definitely recommend this as of right now. And I'm going to go back to work, and I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye. It's Lori here. I'm back. It's almost 2:30. I just have to do a little bit more grading, and then I'm going to head and play Animal Crossing for a little bit. It is such a bad day out. It's very, very windy, very, very cold, very, very dreary. I do have a really late yoga class that I am going to try to attend today, and I definitely do want to do like a physical workout, but I am going to play a little bit of Animal Crossing. I just wanted to check in and say that for today, I did wind up reading up to page 250 in Blackbird Girls, which I'm really liking. I'm really curious to see what happens to Valentina and Askena now that their situation has changed a little bit, but I'm really curious to see also how the past storyline the other storyline is kind of connected. I'm really enjoying that. But definitely a really, really solid historical fiction read, one that I think little kids or younger kids would really enjoy. But I have about like 150 pages. I'll probably find a finishing listening to this tomorrow during my work day. But I'm going to go play Animal Crossing for a little bit, and when I come back, I should have at least started to read Words on Fire. Bye, guys. It's Lori here. I'm back. It's about 5 o'clock, and I am going to dive into reading Jennifer Nielsen's Words on Fire. I am about at page 200, which is exactly where I wanted to be before I started tonight's reading, which is actually exciting. Got to a really intriguing part in this book, and I'm really enjoying it. I've done this before. I'm not the biggest. I don't read a lot of historical fiction books, and I'm trying to be a little bit better about it. So this is actually a very, very big week for me because there are 2 historical fiction books back to back. 3 if you count my Regency romance. So pretty good on that front. But I'm loving this character. I think she's kind of like a reluctant hero, which I'm really, really fond of. I love this time period that we're learning about. I think you're also learning a lot about this time in Lithuanian history, which I knew nothing about personally. So that's also really, really cool. But I just can't wait to keep reading. So I'm going to dive in. I have about 150 pages left of it, which I think is doable to finish. I'm unsure if I'm gonna finish it, but I am gonna try. So I'm gonna go read, and I'll check in when I read about 50 more pages. So when I'm on like 250, and let you guys know my thoughts. Talk to you guys in a bit. Bye. Lori here. It's 6 o'clock. It is so windy here, like so windy. It's been a very, very windy day, but that is why you might even hear it in the background. But I did get up to page 252 in Words on Fire. I'm really, really liking this book. I'm loving Audra as a character. I'm thinking she has changed so dramatically from page 1 to this page. And I think the dynamics of these characters and this storytelling and like this book is just so interesting. It's not a story I ever would have read. I wound up getting a free arc at ALA, and this was probably BEA last year. But I'm just really, really enjoying it. I'm loving the characters. I'm loving just the world. I'm loving like learning about this part of history. The characters have also changed so dramatically. I also think this is another book that really features found family in it as well. Since all these characters are kind of on their own, they are kind of like they're individual, but they really do create their own family. And I just love the landscape of this story so much. I love how it did become more of like it did have like elements of spycraft, but it also focuses on the importance of reading and storytelling, and just reading like about how other governments can use that as like a tool to keep you under their thumb. I'm really liking it. I've been reading a lot about Russia. Like I've read a little about Russia in Blackbird Girls. I'm reading a little about Russia here, and I'm really liking the importance or the focus that's put on diversity in all these reads, and racism, and it's just and prejudices are really prevalent, especially in this book, but also in the Enigma Game and also in Blackbird Girls. Like there is very, very much a focus on prejudices that I think is super important. But I'm really, really enjoying this book and its focus on reading and book lovers and just the use of reading and books in a time of like conflict or war, and how another country that overtakes you really does use that to kind of crush your spirit. Really, I'm liking this. So I'm gonna check in with you guys probably when I get to like the last 30 pages and let you guys know my thoughts. But so far, very, very good read. Hi guys, Lori here. So I'm actually here to wrap up this reading vlog. It's 8 o'clock on April 30th, which is the last day of April, if you were unaware and you have no idea what dates mean anymore, which most of us don't. But I just wanted to wrap up this reading vlog. I actually kind of started this weekend in kind of like a weird place. I didn't know what I wanted to read, but it actually turned out being a rather interesting reading week because I tackled a bunch of different historical fiction books that I want to talk about. And I like some of them, and I enjoyed them all. I'm really happy that I found the historical fiction genre in various ways. So the first book that I completed was The Enigma Game by Elizabeth Wen. This is literally the first pure historical fiction book I have read in a while. The last one I read was Cinderella's Dress, which was so different than this. But this is basically a World War II novel following 3 different characters. It is by Elizabeth Wen. This release date did get pushed. It was supposed to come out in May, but now it's coming out in November. This is also set in the same world as her Pearl Thief and all those other series. I do honestly recommend you read them in order. I did it, and I think that this book, the enjoyment level was a little bit less for me because of that. And also, it was very, very focused on battle elements, and that is always something, even in high fantasy, that I struggle with. But I really love the interconnections. I loved how it focused on the characters. I love the spycraft elements. I love the characters. I thought it was a really, really fun read. I wound up giving this read like 3.5 stars. I really did enjoy it, but it definitely wasn't my favorite. I am definitely going to go back and read the other books in that series, though, because I think that those books might be a little bit more my flavor. I really like books about spycraft or like other books about the war. Not about the war, but like about the side characters in the war. As you'll see, that's kind of what all my other ones that I really enjoyed were about. And I also picked up a historical fiction romance, a Regency romance, that Alexa Love Books raved about, and it's called Cold Hearted Reich by Lisa Kleypas. And I found that book to be so fun. I read it all during my work week, or listened to it all during my work week, and it was so fun. Basically follows these 2 characters set in Regency England. One of these, the female character, her husband wound up dying, and his cousin winds up inheriting his house, and he kind of comes and they kind of have a love-to-hate relationship, and it's just so fun. I really love that time period, and I was equally invested, and it's like a companion series, so every book follows a different girl, which I thoroughly enjoyed. And then at that point I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna make this a historical fiction reading vlog, and I wound up picking up Words on Fire by Jennifer A. Nielsen. This book is another book set in I say this like every single time and I always don't remember, but I know it's in Lithuania and it's in 1893, and this is when Lithuania, I cannot say that word, is controlled by the Russians. And you follow this girl named Audra, and she kind of gets sucked into this book smuggling operation that her parents were involved in, but then her parents had been captured, and it kind of sends her on this journey to self-discovery. It was so good. I like wound up giving this book 4.5 stars. I thought it was incredible. I loved learning about time periods that I really wasn't that familiar with. I thought Audra was a character after my own heart. I thought she was very, very shy and demure in the beginning, but became this character that was so amazing, and she was super fun to read from, and she was really, really enjoyable, and I learned so much about Lithuania and the Russian control. I loved how this book focused on found family. I loved how it dealt with like prejudices, but I just loved the focus on books and how books are a weapon, and I really love that relationship and how that was discussed. There was some unexpected twists in this book that I totally didn't see coming at the very, very end that I was shocked by. This is honestly a book that I would probably try to get like a physical copy of and to like read the audiobook and try to like read it again because I thought it was so good. I felt so invested in those characters. By far, this is probably definitely one of my favorite reads of this reading vlog, but I loved it. I will definitely check out more by this author in the future. And I also wound up picking up the audiobook of Blackbird Girls by Anne Blankman. This is another historical fiction book that focuses on the middle grade set. And this basically follows the aftermath of Chernobyl in, I don't know when Chernobyl is. I think it's in like 1986. So it basically follows these two girls, Valentina and Askena, and you basically follow them after their fathers worked in this power plant, and they get thrown together in this unexpected way, and it's basically a story of found family, friendship, resistance in other ways, and just so good. I'm not done with it yet. I have about like 150 pages left. I'll probably finish this early tomorrow morning during my job. But those are all the reads that I wound up tackling this week. I'm really happy that I found this new genre. I think I'm gonna kind of do this the next couple of weeks, just kind of tackle a new genre that I haven't read a lot from and see my thoughts. I'm definitely going to add a few more historical fictions to my TBR. I hope you guys like this extra long reading vlog. I normally don't do week-long reading vlogs, but I didn't feel like I had enough content for a weekend reading vlog because I was doing other things this weekend. But let me know, what are some books you have read? What is some genre that you don't read that you really want to tackle? For me, it was definitely historical fiction and a couple other ones. But I will talk to you guys next week for another reading vlog. Bye. Stay safe and be well.